If you were to sink into the deepest corners of the ocean, you would notice something unsettling long before you touched the sea floor. The familiar harmless fish near the surface begin to twist into shapes that feel engineered for nightmares. Their teeth stretch longer. Their fins sharpen into limbs. Their bodies adapt to consume things they should never logically be able to swallow. It feels as if the ocean hid these creatures away on purpose, sealing them inside the abyss so the rest of the world would never see what evolution becomes under crushing pressure and eternal darkness. But why does the deep create monsters? And what advantages come with becoming so strange? To understand why these creatures look so unsettling, we have to accept one truth. In nature, nothing evolves just to be creepy. Every bizarre jaw, every strange eye, every glowing organ carries a purpose forged by survival. Millions of years of pressure have shaped life in ways that feel intentional even if they are not. Near the surface, cuteness can be a form of armor. The clownfish, bright and harmless, advertises danger. Its colors warn predators that it lives safely among the stinging tentacles of sea anemones. A soft message saying, "If you eat me, you will regret it." It is survival of the cutest. But as the water darkens, that rule reverses. In the deep, bright colors are useless. Threats come from every direction, and the fish that live here survive not by charm, but by becoming something far stranger. At the base of the epipelagic zone lies one of the strangest predators, the stargazer fish. A creature that buries itself in sand with only its eyes and mouth exposed, waiting like a living landmine. It watches, it waits, and when something wanders too close, it strikes. It is the creepiest resident of these shallow depths, but only the beginning. As you descend into the twilight zone, the ocean transforms. Sunlight fades into a dim blue haze too weak to reveal color. Here, bright warnings like those of the clownfish mean nothing. No predator can see them. Everything becomes shadow motion and instinct. This is where fish begin to trade beauty for survival. Take the hatchetfish. Silver-bodied and shaped like the blade it is named after, it has eyes fixed permanently upward. It cannot see you in front of it, but it can see the faintest silhouette above. Its strange gaze is not a flaw. It is a shield. At only a few centimeters long, the hatchetfish survives by vanishing using reflective scales and a glowing underside to erase its shadow. Evolution turned it into a tiny ghost just trying not to be eaten. But deeper still waits something entirely different, the viperfish. While small, its spirit is anything but. Encoded into its DNA is an instinct to attack nearly anything that moves. Its long teeth and fierce posture look terrifying, but to larger animals it is more reckless than dangerous. Even stranger is its skin. Instead of scales, a gel-like coating covers its body, hydrodynamic and anti-reflective. We still do not fully understand the mixture, only that it helps the viperfish slice through dark water like a silent missile. Yet even this creature is overshadowed by a relative far more extreme, the Pacific black dragon, whose skin absorbs up to 99.95% of all light. Tiny melanosomes trap and scatter every photon, turning the fish into a moving void. In a world of predators hunting by light, even bioluminescence cannot reveal it. It is one of the darkest creatures on Earth, a triumph of deep-sea stealth. If you descend past the twilight zone, you fall into a world where sunlight no longer exists. Here, creatures must create their own light or live in complete darkness. And in this eternal night, some of the ocean's most iconic nightmares appear. The anglerfish is the undisputed symbol of deep-sea horror. Its glowing lure, the esca, hangs like a lantern in the dark. Small fish, confused and desperate, drift toward the light. A single snap follows. The hunt is over. Despite their monstrous design, anglerfish are not dangerous to humans. They rarely grow larger than 1 or 2 feet, and their thin, brittle teeth are designed for small prey, not us. The real threat would be the crushing pressure thousands of meters below the surface that would kill a human long before an anglerfish ever could. But below, even the anglerfish, dwells a creature far stranger. Another member of the dragonfish family, but perhaps the most unhinged of them all, the stoplight loosejaw. The name sounds theatrical, but it is literal. Its jaw is barely attached to its skull, connected by a thin joint that allows it to open almost instantly like a bear trap snapping shut. With no cheeks or floor of the mouth in the way it can swallow prey nearly the size of its own head. Its eyes produce both red and green light. The red beam is a perfect weapon. Almost no deep-sea animals can detect red light, meaning the loosejaw can illuminate prey without revealing itself. As for the green beam, we still do not fully understand it. It may help with navigation, communication, or mating, but the truth remains a mystery. And deeper still lurks one of the ocean's most bizarre predators, the black swallower. This small fish can consume prey more than twice its length and up to 10 times its weight. Its stomach stretches enormously, turning the swallower into a grotesque balloon. After digestion, the body shrinks back to normal. But while the adaptation allows it to feast rarely yet fully, there are consequences. A huge meal makes it slow, buoyant, and clumsy, sometimes even floating upward toward danger. Much of its energy must go toward digestion, leaving little for escape. Yet in a world where food is scarce, this strange ability can mean survival. Beneath the midnight zone lies the abyssopelagic zone, the abyss itself. Here, light is so thoroughly erased that even bioluminescence becomes a rare luxury. And in this depth live some of the strangest creatures evolution has ever produced. One of them is the tripjaw anglerfish, also called the wonderfish, known by its scientific name, traumaticthys. Imagine a classic anglerfish, then exaggerate every feature into something even more surreal. It belongs to the wolf-trap anglerfish family, named for jaws designed to snap shut like steel traps. Normal wolf-trap anglers carry their glowing lure on their head, using it to draw prey into a chamber of interlocking teeth. But the wonderfish does something no other anglerfish does. It moved its lure inside its own mouth. Prey are drawn not to a glowing beacon in front of them, but directly toward the entrance of the digestive system itself. In the abyss, where almost no light penetrates from above, even the faint outline of an external lure might give away its presence. Hidden inside the mouth, the light becomes a single-step invitation: come closer and vanish. It is a design so strange it feels intentional, yet evolution shaped it in silence for millions of years. At the abyssal floor itself, evolution takes an even more unexpected turn. With a solid surface beneath them, fish finally begin to stand. This is the tripod fish, the only fish on Earth that does this. It balances on 3 long, bone-like fin rays, 1 from the tail and 2 from the pelvis. These rods can stretch more than 3 feet long, while the fish itself is barely a foot. They look like stilts grown out of necessity because in a world of almost no food and no predators, motion becomes a luxury. The tripod fish survives by stillness. It stands for hours or even days, letting faint currents carry small creatures past its sensitive fins. When something brushes near, it leans forward to snatch it. The life it leads seems almost unbearable. A creature built for waiting, spending nearly every moment alone. They rarely meet others of their kind, so evolution granted them both male and female reproductive organs. Most reproduce simply with themselves. Their eggs float upward into brighter water. When the young mature, they drift back down to the abyssal plane, settling into their solitary position to wait for the rest of their lives. It may be the loneliest existence in the ocean. We have reached the bottom of the known ocean. But in a few rare places on Earth, deep trenches carve downward even farther, forming the Hadal zone. This is the last frontier, a place where pressure climbs to tens of thousands of pounds per square inch. Nearly nothing survives here. Life becomes microscopic, sparse, or non-existent, except for one creature. The deepest living fish ever recorded is the snailfish. At first glance, it looks too soft, too fragile, too gelatinous to survive anywhere, let alone in a realm that crushes steel. But its softness is not a weakness. It is the adaptation. Snailfish have shed almost everything unnecessary. No scales because even thin armor would collapse. No real bones, only cartilage-like supports that can bend under pressure. No swim bladder because gas-filled organs implode instantly. Their eyes have reduced to simple light-sensitive patches under the skin. Their body is streamlined into the pure minimum required to be alive. A basic brain, a simple nervous system, a mouth designed for tiny prey, fins only strong enough to glide through still water. It is life distilled to its essence, evolution worked down to the final blueprint of survival. In a way, their world resembles a strange kind of peace. No predators, no bright colors, no frantic swimming, nothing left but existence. Whether their fate is better or worse than the lonely tripod fish is hard to say. At these depths, even the awareness of existence may have faded away because it was never required to endure. From the shimmering shallows to the blackest trenches, the ocean shapes its creatures with a precision that feels both brutal and awe-inspiring. Beauty dominates the surface, but the deeper we travel, the more survival carves life into forms we barely recognize. Down there, creepiness is not decoration, it is adaptation. Every jagged tooth, every hollow eye, every glowing lure and shifting shadow tells the same story: evolution does whatever it must. And for these fish, that often means abandoning everything familiar to us. If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, there is still more to explore. Let us know what strange corner of the ocean you want to visit next. And if you are curious how giants like whales return their bodies to the deep after death, our next story awaits you.